Hello, all you Positively Presto people. Welcome to the next instalment in our interviews with our graduate students and so on. Everyone say hello to Beth. Say, hey, Beth.
Hi.
Great to see you, my love. Great to see you. Beth, you are one of our absolute megastar students. We have so many of them, but it's always great to check in with you. Quick run through of everything we'll chat through today. We're going to talk about your awesome diploma result. Well done, Beth, which you achieved at Presto Music School. Well done, you superstar. And we'll talk about how things like the integrated theory that you did in your lessons benefited you, your goals, your aha moments. We'll perhaps even talk about some of your struggles, if you don't mind, as well, because I know that our students and potential students out there will gain great inspiration from your awesome success and how you got there. So first of all, Beth, just give us a little indication. I mean, how old were you when you actually started with Presto?
Oh gosh, that young that I can't remember my first lesson. I think I was about 6 when I started Presto for piano, yeah.
Yeah, and you started with Chris on piano, and what was interesting with just before we hit record, then you were telling me about the integrated style of the theory into the piano lessons. How did that help you with your progress?
Yeah, I think that really helped with the theory side of it because a lot of people I think can find the theory maybe a bit boring and easy to forget. But when you're learning the theory in practice in your lesson, you can really see where it comes into play, in the music that you're actually playing. And that definitely helped me remember it for a long time.
I loved. I had the pleasure, the benefit, the honour of doing some of your mock exams when you were little,
Yeah, I
and
don't know how much, but yeah.
you always struck me as a very studious student. You always seemed very well prepared, but you always struck me as somebody who had each of the components of the exam really solid. And that to me, in my humble opinion, but experienced opinion at that, showed me somebody who was managing to piece all the different learning styles together. And what was interesting is I couldn't tell what your strength was from a learning style because everything seemed quite secure. Your listening was secure, your practical skills were secure. So, have you ever thought about what your actual strength from a learning style is?
Gosh, not really. And I would probably say that's because of the way the lessons were formatted. So, I think my amazing teacher, Chris, he would, do a bit on the listening, a bit on the actual performance, part scales, bit of, viva voce theory in every lesson. And because it was in every single lesson, I don't know whether I got a chance to have a weakness, have a strength. So I think quite all round, I would say the lessons were. Yeah.
How cool is that? That's awesome. That's a brilliant result for me to be in a position where I can't tell what that is, and you're thinking it's worked so well for you. Oh, that's great to hear, Beth. What were your struggles? Because obviously everybody struggles with music at some point, and you have had awesome success, but you must have struggled at some point. Give us an indication of what they might have been.
I would say my main struggle was probably staying motivated throughout my grades because I think when you start the piano, you maybe expect to be as good as your favorite pop singer or even as good as your teacher. Same with singing, and then you quickly realize it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of practice and time that you have to devote to it to be as good as them. Um, but I think something that helped, combat that was at the end of every lesson, we'd have maybe 5, 10 minutes where we'd play a pop song, that everyone in the class would know it'd be on the radio. I still remember in my first lesson, it was the Black Eyed Peas, and that made me feel so cool coming out my lesson, playing that. Um, and that I think that made me stay motivated because it made me look forward to each lesson. So every week I'd come out looking forward to the next one.
That's brilliant. I mean, one of our passions is making sure that the lessons are accessible, both from a comprehension point of view. So obviously the students need to understand it, but from an accessibility and enjoyment perspective, because if you're not enjoying it, the whole thing falls apart. So it's great to hear a student who's now graduated from Presto with their diploma, and you're saying, yeah, right back in lesson one, I can track through that. And I think that's quite inspirational for younger students or students starting, from any point now. I guess the takeaway from that is let's make sure we're enjoying our lessons, because if you're not enjoying your lessons, then change your teacher, change your whatever it is you need to change, but get to the point where you're enjoying it. By the sounds of things as well, would you say it's fair to say that that integrating of pop stuff allowed you to integrate the theory into the practical side of you playing as well?
Yeah, definitely, because you'd be able to see the theory in, some Mozart piece that you'd be playing and it'd be lovely, but you'd think, when am I going to hear this in real life? Whereas then you'd see that in a pop song. You'd go home in the car, it'd be on the radio, and you'd go, oh my gosh, those notes are, you'd be like, oh, that's a staccato note. You'd be able to tell your parents and they'd be going, wow, and, that'd just help you remember that.
Very cool, very cool. You were saying before as well that you actually performed at the Presto Music Awards at the 1,000-seater Par Hall in Warrington. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, that was so much fun. I think I was quite young. I was probably about 11. And I was on the main stage and I just joined a brand new singing class, brand new singing teacher. And I had my maybe 2 or 3 lines solo and I was like, it was a very scary moment, but I finished, I sang it, and I think that was quite a turning point for me. I realised, oh my gosh, I actually really do love singing, and I do like performing. So yeah, I think that set me up to carry on with singing, go as far as I have done.
Fantastic. And what would you say if you had one piece of advice to give to an up and coming musician, a music student, somebody who's just thinking about getting into music? What piece of advice would you give them? Perhaps something that you learnt as an aha moment along the way. If they want to succeed, what would you say to them?
I would say to, stay motivated. And I think first thing to do is think about your goals and where you want to end up. Because once you've thought about those goals, once you've said those goals out loud, they do start to manifest themselves in real life. I had one teacher, my singing teacher Freya, and she just said, "Oh, you can do a diploma after your grade 8." And as soon as she said that, me and another girl in my class we were just like, "Ooh, yeah, maybe we can." And I kept, saying that, thinking I'd do a diploma. I mentioned it to Molly, and then literally I'd done a diploma in that time. So it was, yeah, just keep thinking where you want to be.
Magic. And let's not belittle the amount of immense effort that you've put into this, Beth. Your successes are so well deserved. We talk there about the teachers at Presto, coaching you, training you through your studies, integrating your theory, all these things. But Beth, it was you that did the work, my love. Major congratulations to you.
Yeah.
I bet you can't believe it.
No, honestly, in my mind, I'm still like maybe on grade 6 or something.
Beth, it's been a pleasure to speak to you, and thank you so much for inspiring students and great musical successes of the future. Thanks so much for checking in, and we look forward to hearing from you very soon with your future successes.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No worries, you take care.